All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media, and my name is Judson Powell. All right, once again, it's Black History Year. Shout out to all the mothers and grandmothers out there, the true African heroes that held it down through everything, through slavery, through Jim Crow, through all the BS that they tried to put us through. Like to say a big shout out to all the mothers and the grandmothers out there that held the children down. I love y'all. And Hotep. All right. Now, with that being said, I've been I'm starting to feel a little bit stronger. Start to get my powers back. my I guess my Imhotep powers are coming back to me. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something, and what's really funny is I during my meditation, I meditated on this yesterday, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if it's the internet that's spying on me or what it is, but I wanted to talk about ownership, and I also wanted to talk about the principles of Mayat. Well, lo and behold, when I get up this morning, there's a post on one of my feeds talking about ownership. Does ownership matter? I think it might have been the Breakfast Club, one of those, but it was like, does ownership matter? And in a nutshell, just to put it briefly, hell yeah, it matters. We have not owned anything, and that's the problem that we have. The whole problem is that we invent everything, we create everything, we come up with all these wonderful ideas, ingenuity, and then it's stolen away from us. Just like, for example, and I can't remember her name, I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. But like when I was just going through, just like a black lady invented the cell phone, call waiting, caller ID. Black women invented this stuff, and then we got a black man that invented the cell phone, the actual, the technology that the cell phone uses and all that kind of stuff. And right now, I'm gonna be straight up and honest. The Chinese and the Japanese, they're making big bank, including and companies in the United States too. I mean, Apple and companies like that are making money off of that. But we're not making any money off of it. That's why ownership matters. We can't keep giving away the ownership that we had. And then, of course, I always go back to my old standby, was because I'm a recovering alcoholic. So we bring up the Jack Daniels thing with Mr. Green that invented that liquor, and just think how much money they have made over 100 years selling that whiskey. So all of the technology that we have, there are hieroglyphs in Kemet that have the light bulb. So Lewis Latimer, I mean, he invented the light bulb that could last. Edison didn't get it working, y'all. He never got it to work. He got it to light up, but he couldn't get it to stay lit. And Lewis Latimer was the one that got it to stay lit. So ownership is important. Well, how much money have they made off of light bulbs in all of this time? And so we got to start thinking differently. The same thing is with this Wakanda stuff. You got to leave that Wakanda stuff alone. Wakanda ain't real. Wakanda is a figment of the man's imagination in order to get you to pay money and make you to feel good. It's a feel good thing. All it does is make you feel good. You feel good for a little while, and then the money goes to his family. The money does not go to us. We got a couple actors, we got, directors, set designers, costume designers, all that kind of stuff. They're all, of African descent, but the big money, the huge money is going to who? Is not going to our community. It's not going into our community. So you can stand up there and do all the Wakanda posts you want to, and all the Zamunda posts you want to. That's the next thing they're going to get us next with Zamunda. So Zamunda, Wakanda, all of those things, they're not real. Nubia is real. Ethiopia is real. All right. Kemet is real. All right. Start waking up, y'all, to what's real, and start promoting your culture. Benin is real. All of these things you got to understand what's real and what is not real, because that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you make the money. That's where the money is made. And most of the ideas and the concepts that they stole they steal directly from what? From Africa and African spirituality. All right. Remember in Black Panther when when he dies and he goes in to talk to the ancestors, and the ancestors are there, and they're looking. They look like panthers sitting in a tree and all that kind of stuff. That is all African spirituality. But did Africa get credit for that? Does Africa get money for that? Are there children being taken care of? Are there women and children being taken care of through that process? And the answer is absolutely not. And the thing is that and once again, I'll say something that I say all the time: black folks are just happy with their, getting a higher position in slavery. So you're happy getting a higher position in slavery. That's all it is. Because you're still enslaved, even though there might not be physical shackles, there might not be physical chains, but the bottom line is it's still slavery. It's still slavery. If they take all the money and they give you a pittance, it's not real. So ownership does matter. So I want to give a big shout out to Master P. Master P is doing the damn thing. So basically, you got to just sit up there and look at it and say, look, he has developed brands in food. He has developed brands in clothing and apparel, tennis shoes. Go buy some of Master P's tennis shoes. Y'all buy, Nikes and Adidas and everything else all day long. But the bottom line is we don't realize any of the money or any of the funding from any of that stuff. So we got to keep going and get to the point where the ownership aspect is our aspect, not just being happy that we can buy it or whatever. And that's what they do. They make you think, kids are getting. You realize how many kids die every year over tennis shoes and jackets and all this kind of stuff. It's ridiculous. People getting robbed and everything else. Why? Because of stupid stuff. The merchandising and all that kind of stuff. The creativity from the merchandising needs to go to us, because we're the ones that are creating it. We're the ones that are developing it. All of the technology, all of the things and we're just happy. Once again, one of my famous sayings, we're happy for our position in slavery. Where we go around, like I said, yeah, this is this and this and that. Yeah, wait until the big blockbuster movie comes out. They get it. They make all the money. They go back to their house. And we still what? We still poor. And there's a couple of people that they push out in front, and they push those people out in front. Why? Because they are the Pied Pipers. So they push Eddie Murphy out front. They push 50 Cent now with all his production stuff. They push him out front. They push whoever they can out front. And then y'all run around Jay-Z out front, Kanye West out front. All of these people go out front. And why do they go out front? So that they can bring your dollars. They can bring your money into the coffers. And once they get your money into the coffers, they don't care about giving them $1 billion. They can give them $1 billion. Why can they give them $1 billion? Because they made trillions. That's one thing my daddy, God rest his soul, he always used to say, look, if they could pay a basketball player $100 million, if they could pay I think at that time, Michael Jordan was making $40 million a year. Okay. Well, if they can afford to pay Michael Jordan $40 million, just think how much money they are making. Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Bulls at the time, what? How much money was he making? If he can give Michael Jordan $40 million, how much money is he getting that's coming in? And we got to start looking at things in the future as ownership. We have to look at all of this stuff under the guise of ownership. What can you own? And some things are not worth the sellout. Because see, we always ready to sell out. Oh man, they gave me $1 million. or or they gave me a $2,000 stimulus check. They gave me a $600 stimulus check or whatever. So we don't care about what's going on with COVID-19 because we don't care because we got the check. Everybody on here talking about how getting a check and all this kind of stuff. And the same thing for welfare and everything else. You are never going to get rich off of welfare. You're not going to get rich off of welfare. You're not going to be a millionaire or billionaire when you take up welfare, unless you got a plan to take welfare until you can make it, you know. So that's the thing. You got to understand that all of this economic stuff and economic power is at the top. And that's why, I get upset with other races and stuff like that. And then I get upset at our race because we don't concentrate on ownership. We want to give everything up to everybody else, but we don't want to keep anything and work at anything for ourselves. And and the funny part about it is we end up working on it anyway. Final point, Jada Pinkett Smith on her feed this morning, and I gotta I've been critical of her before, but I gotta give her props. She put up the 42 aspects of Ma'at. They're not laws, once again, but she put them on her I think it was on her Instagram. The 42 negative confessions of Ma'at. I have not done this. I have not done that. They're negative confessions. They are not laws, but they are where the 613 laws in the Bible and the laws that are in the Quran, that's where they came from. So they came from Ma'at. And the best thing that you can do is that you can live, if you live your life on this planet by Ma'at, you'll be good. See, I can't tell you anything else, but if you live by Ma'at, you'll be good. Everything that comes down will be good. And so I'm saying that I'm put on my Kemetic priest hat, right? Because a lot of the stuff that they have y'all doing and everything like that, they got y'all jumping through hoops. And this goes back to ownership. They got y'all jumping through hoops for money. They got y'all paying thousands of dollars for Gucci, for a Gucci belt. $5,000. That's ridiculous. A belt is to hold your pants up. And if you ain't got $5,000, you definitely don't need to have on no Gucci belt, so you can show off to a whole bunch of other broke people. Come on, y'all, get it together. It's some certain things, and we got to look at things like that, or y'all got $1,000, y'all got more dollars than it costs to have a car, right? It's like, but y'all buying Gucci bags, Gucci shirts, Gucci this, that, and that thing, Dior this, Dior that, Fendi this, Fendi that, and that's your status symbol. And that's not your people. Go buy some Master P stuff. That should be the fashion of the day. The stuff that your ancestors and the descendants of your ancestors have made. Because we got the richest. In fact, the stuff that you see, especially like Fendi, whatever, that ain't nothing but African. They stole it. They stole those designs. So get with it, y'all. Wake up. And I'm not, you ain't got to be woke to everything, but stop giving these people all your money. If you're going to do that, then loan your money to a black man or a black woman that has an idea that's trying to make something happen. That's what y'all need to do. Plain, point blank. And y'all need to, and the other thing is, I like to throw, since I'm talking, throw granddaddy in there. Good fences make good neighbors. Come up with good contracts, have good contracts between you. Then you don't have to argue about money and all that kind of stuff later on. Good fences make good neighbors. If you know where your fence line is and he know where his fence line is, then everything is good. And I'm not doing that to be sexist either. If she know where her fence line is, and once again, Ma'at, 42 Negative Confessions of Mayat, not laws. Go look them up. Go look them up. 42 Negative Confessions of Mayat. Live your life by it, and you'll be good. You'll be good. I used to post one every day. I forgot. Anyway, that's all the time I got. Fast 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most of all, hit the love button.